surgery. They were repairing my leg, and I was wide awake the whole entire surgery, but I couldn't move because they paralyzed my body.
Okay, Caitlyn Beadles just dropped the most traumatizing story of her life, and somehow it loops back to Justin Bieber. And not in a cute, nostalgic way. We're talking dark vibes only, but like, are we shocked? This man's been unhinged since the start.
You said?
Good job, B.
So yeah, we're about to unpack what Caitlyn really saw behind the scenes. And spoiler alert, it's not giving wholesome first love. The dark side revealed, what Caitlyn knows. We all know celebs like Justin Bieber serve main character energy with perfectly curated Insta feeds and polished PR moves. But there's always that one person who knew them before the glow up. For Justin, that's Caitlyn Beadles. She wasn't just a random ex. She was the church girlfriend, the OG, the one who saw Bieber before the fame, the fans, and the frenzy. And some people think she knows way more than she's ever said. Let's set the stage with the bombshell that's blown this whole story wide open. Sean Diddy Combs was arrested in September 2024 on serious charges including sex trafficking, racketeering, and sexual assault. This tea is scalding and has sent shockwaves through the entertainment industry, creating a major plot twist in the Justin Bieber narrative and forcing everyone to re-examine his early career, especially his relationship with Diddy during his vulnerable teen era. So who was in Justin's corner before he entered Diddy's world? That's where Caitlyn steps in, the girl from Atlanta who dated him between 2008 and 2009, back when he was still rocking swoopy bangs and uploading covers on YouTube. She didn't fall in love with a superstar. She knew the soft-spoken Canadian kid who was just trying to get noticed. That's why the internet's convinced Caitlyn might be sitting on some underrated tea, especially when it comes to Justin's transformation and what really went down behind the scenes. Since the Diddy drama broke, TikTok and Reddit have basically turned into FBI headquarters. People are unearthing old interviews, behind-the-scenes footage, and awkward clips that hit completely different now. One clip that's seriously making people cringe? That old 24 Hours with Diddy vlog Justin did as a kid.
Justin, you ever seen the movie 48 Hours? Right now, he's having 48 hours with Diddy, him and his boy. They're having the times of their lives, like you know, where we hanging out and what we doing. We can't really disclose, but it's definitely a 15-year-old's dream.
What really set people off was when Diddy agreed to take Justin out to get some girls.
What you want to do? What you want to do over the next 48 hours?
48 hours. Let's go. Let's just go get some girls. Let's go hang with some girls.
Man after my heart. That's what I'm talking about.
Even more sus is a February 2011 clip from Jimmy Kimmel Live, where Diddy calls Justin his little brother before dropping this absolute cringe bomb.
About this last time. He had the Lamborghini for a day or two, and he had access to the house, and he knows better than to be talking about the things that he does with Big Brother Puff on national television.
I mean, what in the grooming? Behavior is that? These interactions, once seen as just industry mentorship, are now serving serious predator vibes given the allegations against Diddy. It gets even more concerning when you look at the power dynamics at play. Justin was just a kid from a small town in Canada, thrust into Hollywood's spotlight with little protection. His mom, Patty Millette, was only 17 when she had him, and while she tried her best to guide him, the entertainment industry's shark-infested waters are notoriously difficult for even the most prepared families to navigate. Enter Diddy, an established industry heavyweight who positioned himself as a mentor to teenage Justin, creating an inherently unbalanced power dynamic that's extremely problematic in retrospect. TikTok creators have been analyzing the body language in these old clips frame by frame, and the footage gets creepier the more you watch it. These subtle cues, easily missed during the initial hype of Bieber fever, are now being examined with a much more critical and protective lens by fans and media analysts alike. Following Diddy's arrest, Justin has apparently cut all ties with his former mentor. Sources close to the situation spilled that Bieber is in his dad era now, focusing on fatherhood and trying to keep his distance from the whole Diddy drama. But the tea gets even hotter. A February 2025 insider report claimed that Bieber privately described his experience with Diddy as a literal nightmare, and believers flooded his socials with support messages after Diddy's arrest. The details of this alleged nightmare remain unclear, but industry insiders have long whispered about the darker aspects of Diddy's infamous parties. These weren't your standard industry mixers. They were exclusive gatherings where the lines between professional networking and potentially exploitative situations often blurred. For a teenage star like Justin, navigating these environments without proper protection would have been challenging at best and traumatic at worst. It's also worth noting that this period coincided with Justin's increasingly erratic behavior. Around 2013 to 2014, we started seeing a dramatic shift in his public persona, from the sweet, dorky teen who sang about puppy love to a young man engaging in concerning and often self-destructive behavior. The receipts are endless, showing up hours late to concerts, allegedly spitting at fans, making derogatory comments, and throwing tantrums on stage. In 2013, he was accused of calling a fan a beached whale in Perth, Australia. In 2017, he told a fan in Melbourne, "You make me sick," just for trying to snap a selfie, a moment captured on video that quickly went viral. Pure toxic energy. The list of controversies during this period seems endless. There was the infamous incident where he abandoned his pet monkey, OG Mally, in Germany after failing to provide proper documentation. In 2014, a video surfaced of a 15-year-old Justin using racial slurs.
One less lonely One less lonely
He also made a joke about joining the KKK, for which he later apologized. That same year, he was arrested in Miami for drag racing while under the influence, with his mugshot becoming an instantly recognizable image of celebrity gone wrong. Then there was the egg-throwing incident that resulted in Justin pleading no contest to misdemeanor vandalism after pelting a neighbor's house with eggs, causing thousands of dollars in damage. He also faced an assault charge in Toronto, was accused of attempting to steal a woman's phone in Los Angeles, and was sued by a photographer who claimed Bieber kicked and punched him. Many dismissed this as typical child star rebellion, but in light of recent revelations, some are wondering if it was actually a trauma response to experiences within the industry. What does Caitlyn know about this nightmare? While she hasn't publicly spilled the tea on the Diddy situation specifically, her consistent presence in Justin's life through his darkest chapters suggests she's one of the few people who truly understands what he experienced. Unlike the clout chasers and industry vultures, Caitlyn has maintained a dignified silence, never capitalizing on her connection to Justin through tell-all interviews or memoir deals, and that integrity speaks for itself. Even more telling is how Justin turns to Caitlyn and her family during pivotal moments in his life. When celebrities hit rock bottom, they often retreat to the people who knew them before fame, those who love them for who they truly are, not what they represent. The fact that Justin has consistently maintained his connection with Caitlyn through the years suggests she represents something pure and authentic in a world that's often anything but. The vibes are off lately, and it seems like Justin might be going through it. Recent paparazzi shots from early 2025 show him looking concerningly thin with a disheveled appearance, and some are speculating this P. Diddy drama could be triggering past trauma.
How you been, bro?
There are even rumors of trouble in paradise with Hailey, with eagle-eyed fans noting they've been arriving at and leaving events in separate cars. Close-up images from January 2025 show Justin looking gaunt, with dark circles under his eyes and a haunted expression that has fans genuinely concerned. His once meticulously styled appearance has given way to disheveled clothing and a general aura of distress. Body language experts analyzing recent footage note that he appears hypervigilant in public, constantly scanning his surroundings and seeming on edge. Classic signs of someone experiencing heightened anxiety or potential PTSD triggers. Justin's father-in-law, Stephen Baldwin, added fuel to the fire by publicly asking followers to pray for Justin and Hailey on Instagram, prompting speculation about the couple's status. While celebrity marriages face unique pressures under normal circumstances, the added stress of the Diddy allegations potentially resurfacing traumatic memories could certainly strain even the strongest relationships. Psychologists who study child stars note that outbursts, substance abuse, and erratic behavior often serve as coping mechanisms for deeper pain. In fact, in 2019, Justin opened up in an emotional essay about becoming the most hated person in the world due to bad decisions, heavy drug use, and disrespect towards women. This self-reflection aligns with what Caitlyn may have known all along, that beneath the bad boy image was a struggling young man dealing with the dark side of fame. To fully understand what Caitlyn knows about the real Justin Bieber, we need to rewind and explore their origin story, how they met, fell in love, and formed a bond that would survive fame, scandal, and the test of time. The relationship receipts, Justin's first love. Before Yelena broke the internet, before Hailey was in the picture, there was Caitlyn, Justin's first girlfriend, and potentially the only woman who's known the authentic Justin Bieber from day one. Their love story began in 2008, when Justin relocated to Atlanta to level up his career with Usher. He met Caitlyn at church, and their connection was instant. Both were just regular teenagers. Justin was 14, Caitlyn around the same age, and their relationship developed in the sweet, innocent way of first loves, before fame complicated everything. Atlanta's North Point Community Church became the backdrop for their budding romance. This wasn't some Hollywood hookup orchestrated by publicists or a relationship born from industry networking. It was two teenagers connecting through shared faith and genuine chemistry. Justin was still virtually unknown outside of YouTube at this point, his signature swooping bangs and purple hoodies not yet the global phenomenon they would become. Friends from that time described them as a typical teenage couple, holding hands between church services, exchanging shy glances during youth group activities, and navigating the awkward, endearing territory of first love. Justin would often bring his guitar and play songs for Caitlyn, showcasing the natural talent that would soon captivate millions worldwide, but in those moments performing just for an audience of one. What makes this relationship so interesting is that it happened right on the cusp of Bieber fever taking over the world. Their romance lasted about a year, with Caitlyn making the difficult choice to end things as Justin's star power exploded. Unlike many who would have clung to the clout of dating a rising star, Caitlyn chose to step away from the spotlight, prioritizing her privacy over fame by association. This decision speaks volumes about Caitlyn's character and values. At an age when most teens would be thrilled by the attention and opportunities that come with dating a celebrity, she recognized the potential pitfalls and chose a different path. Sources close to the situation at the time suggest that Caitlyn was concerned about the industry's impact on their relationship and Justin's changing lifestyle as fame took hold. Around this time, Justin signed with Raymond Braun Media Group, RBMG, a joint venture between talent manager Scooter Braun and R&B singer Usher. His career was accelerating rapidly, with industry executives recognizing his massive potential and strategizing how to maximize his appeal to tween and teen audiences. As photo shoots, recording sessions, and promotional appearances began demanding more of his time, the simple church-based romance with Caitlyn became increasingly difficult to maintain. This early heartbreak potentially shaped Justin's emotional blueprint for years to come. Many fans believe his song, Never Let You Go, from his album My World 2.0 Inches was inspired by Caitlyn, with lyrics that hit different when you know their backstory. Oh no, oh no, oh, they say that hate has been sent, so let loose the talk of love, before they outlaw the kiss. Though Justin never confirmed this officially, the timing and emotional depth of the track have long had believers convinced. Music industry analysts note that Never Let You Go stands out among Justin's early work for its emotional maturity and genuine sense of loss, qualities that feel authentic rather than manufactured, especially in comparison to some of his other early hits that were clearly written for him by industry songwriters. The raw emotion in his vocal performance suggests he was drawing from real experience rather than just playing a role. After their breakup, Justin's career catapulted to stratospheric heights. His single Baby broke records. He performed for President Obama, appeared on countless magazine covers, and became the subject of the documentary Never Say Never that grossed nearly $100 million worldwide. Meanwhile, Caitlyn returned to a relatively normal life in Atlanta, focusing on school and maintaining a low profile despite her connection to the biggest pop star on the planet. What's unprecedented about Justin and Caitlyn's story is what happened after their breakup. In celebrity culture, exes typically either shade each other endlessly or pretend the other doesn't exist. But Justin and Caitlyn created a whole different blueprint, one where romantic love evolved into a deeper, more enduring connection. The receipts don't lie. In September 2019, Caitlyn attended Justin's wedding to Hailey Baldwin in South Carolina, serving looks in a sparkling black gown and sharing the moment on her Instagram story. This wasn't just a photo op. It was a genuine celebration of Justin's new chapter by someone who had been there from the beginning. Even more telling is the holiday Justin spent with Caitlyn's family years after their breakup. In 2017, Bieber celebrated Thanksgiving with Caitlyn and her family, a detail confirmed by an Instagram post from Caitlyn's brother, Christian Beadles, captioned, "So thankful for my brother and sister this Thanksgiving # Happy Turkey Day # family." This wasn't some PR stunt. This was Justin choosing to spend a meaningful holiday with people who knew the real him. What makes this Thanksgiving gathering particularly significant is the timing. This occurred during a period when Justin and Selena were briefly reunited after years apart. For him to choose spending Thanksgiving with Caitlyn's family rather than with Selena or his own relatives speaks volumes about the safe space the Beadles family represents in his life. Sources close to the situation claim that Justin has always felt completely at ease with the Beadles family, able to let his guard down in a way he rarely can elsewhere. Unlike the Hollywood crowd that constantly wants something from him, the Beadles family offers Justin something increasingly rare in his life: unconditional acceptance without expectations. To truly understand the bond between Justin and Caitlyn, we need to explore one of the most challenging chapters in her life and how Justin showed up for her in ways that contradict his bad boy public image. The near-death experience. In 2009, Caitlyn Beadles experienced a life-altering trauma that would test the strength of her connection with Justin and reveal aspects of his character rarely seen by the public. A devastating boating accident nearly took her life, leaving her with severe injuries and a long, painful road to recovery. Memorial Day weekend should have been filled with typical teenage fun for Caitlyn, as she enjoyed a day on Lake Lanier with friends and family. Instead, it became the day that would forever divide her life into before and after. While details of exactly how the accident occurred remain private, it. What we do know is that Caitlyn sustained catastrophic injuries when she was struck by a boat propeller. The severity of this accident cannot be overstated. During surgery to repair her leg, Caitlyn actually flatlined on the operating table. Doctors were unable to administer additional anesthesia for fear they wouldn't be able to resuscitate her, meaning she was conscious through portions of the excruciating procedure.
When I was in surgery, they were repairing my leg, and I was wide awake the whole entire surgery, but I couldn't move because they paralyzed my body. But I flatlined on the table, and so they couldn't give me any more anesthesia, or else they wouldn't be able to bring me back. So the whole surgery I was awake, and I could just hear them saying they're going to amputate my leg and how I'm not going to make it and not going to be able to walk again. So I was actually awake like the whole time hearing that. So it's really, I'm such a miracle that I'm here right now walking and healed, so I'm blessed.
The psychological horror of this experience is almost unimaginable. Caitlyn was not only fighting for her life, but was conscious as medical professionals discussed the possibility that she might not survive. She heard them debating whether amputation was necessary and expressing doubts about her chances of walking again, all while being completely unable to respond due to the paralyzing medications she'd been given. The physical trauma was equally severe. The boat propeller had caused devastating damage to her legs, resulting in extensive blood loss, multiple surgeries, and a recovery process that would span years rather than months. Medical experts familiar with similar injuries note that the type of damage caused by boat propellers is particularly traumatic, often requiring multiple surgical interventions and extensive rehabilitation.
I'm not fully recovered. I can't walk long distances. I have to use a wheelchair like in the airports and stuff. And like my legs swell really big, as you probably can tell. But I haven't been able to get back doing all my sports that I used to, but hopefully in the future I'm working towards being able to again.
Years after the accident, Caitlyn was still dealing with the physical aftermath. She couldn't walk long distances, required a wheelchair for activities like navigating airports, and experienced significant swelling in her legs. The lasting impact on her mobility meant giving up many of the sports and activities she had previously enjoyed, forcing her to redefine her life and capabilities at a young age. Beyond the physical limitations, trauma specialists point out that surviving such a near-death experience, particularly during the formative teenage years, creates profound psychological effects. Many survivors report symptoms of PTSD, including flashbacks, anxiety, difficulty sleeping, and a changed perspective on mortality. The experience of being conscious but helpless during critical medical discussions would likely amplify these effects. While the timeline isn't entirely clear, it appears this accident occurred either during or shortly after Caitlyn's relationship with Justin. What's significant is Justin's response to this crisis, which reveals a dimension of his character rarely glimpsed by the public. Instead of distancing himself from his ex-girlfriend's trauma, which would have been the easy route for a rising star focused on his career, Justin reportedly remained supportive throughout Caitlyn's recovery. As mentioned earlier, he gave her a public shout-out at the MTV Video Music Awards, wishing her well after the injury. This gesture of support came at a time when many celebrities in his position would have moved on entirely. Friends of both Justin and Caitlyn have hinted that his support went far beyond public acknowledgments. He allegedly made private hospital visits when his schedule allowed, sent gifts and encouraging messages during her recovery, and stayed in touch with her family for updates when he couldn't be there in person. In an industry where image is everything and publicists carefully manage every move, these actions appear to have been genuine expressions of care rather than calculated PR strategies. This support doesn't align with the image of Justin Bieber that would later dominate headlines, the impulsive celebrity prone to scandals and public missteps. Rather, it suggests a depth of character and loyalty that contradicts the more negative portrayals of the pop star that would emerge as his fame grew. The accident and Justin's response also provide context for understanding why their connection has endured when so many celebrity relationships dissolve into bitterness or indifference. Shared trauma creates powerful bonds, and Justin's presence during one of the most difficult periods of Caitlyn's life likely cemented a foundation of trust and mutual respect that transcended their romantic history. Psychologists who study relationship dynamics note that experiencing or witnessing trauma together often creates a unique connection between people, a shared understanding that others outside that experience can't fully comprehend. For Caitlyn and Justin, her accident and recovery may have transformed their teen romance into a deeper bond based on genuine care during crisis. In the aftermath of her near-death experience, Caitlyn channeled her trauma into purpose, establishing Caitlyn's Vine of Bravery, a foundation aimed at helping others facing similar challenges. Her resilience and determination to create something positive from her suffering offers a striking counterpoint to the more troubled chapters of Justin's own journey.
I just want other kids to just stay strong and know that miracles happen, and that even if you're faced like hard times, just to keep going and just keep moving forward. And there's much much better things ahead of you.
This foundation, named Caitlyn's Vine of Bravery, focuses on supporting young people dealing with traumatic injuries and life-altering medical conditions. Through motivational speaking, financial assistance, and community building, Caitlyn has transformed her personal tragedy into a source of hope for others. While Justin took a different path, coping with his own struggles through music, faith, and eventually therapy, both found ways to channel difficult experiences into something meaningful. This period of Justin supporting Caitlyn through recovery coincided with his meteoric rise to global superstardom. His debut EP, My World, was released in late 2009, followed by My World 2.0, cementing his status as a pop phenomenon. Despite the whirlwind of fame engulfing him, he maintained his connection to Caitlyn, a testament to what she must have meant to him beyond their teenage romance. And this brings us full circle to the disturbing allegations surrounding Sean Diddy Combs and their implications for understanding Justin's journey. As someone who knew Justin before and during his initial rise to fame, before his relationship with Diddy intensified, Caitlyn potentially possesses insights into the real Justin that few others can claim. She witnessed firsthand the transformation from regular teenager to global superstar, observing the influences and pressures that would shape his path. The timeline is particularly revealing. Justin and Caitlyn's relationship ended around 2009, just as his career was taking off, but before he became fully embedded in Hollywood's celebrity machine. It was after this period that Justin's association with Diddy began to develop, with the older star positioning himself as a mentor to the teenage phenomenon. This means Caitlyn witnessed Justin's authentic self before these potentially harmful industry influences took hold. One particular blind item that circulated in early 2025 claimed that a young male pop star had confided in his first girlfriend about the traumatic experiences he faced when being mentored by older industry figures. Of course, these claims remain unverified and should definitely be taken with a grain of tea. But if there's even a hint of truth, Caitlyn might be one of the very few people Justin ever trusted enough to hear his unfiltered story. Will she ever speak out? Honestly, probably not. Caitlyn's kept it classy for years, choosing peace over clout, even when the internet was practically begging her to spill. But with the whole Hailey versus Selena drama making a comeback and the fandoms going feral again, who knows? In this era of exposés and receipts, anything's possible. Want more tea like this? Click on one of the boxes playing on your screen to keep watching. You're not going to want to miss it.